I have thoughts. The internet has spoken. I don't quite agree with the internet, although I do have thoughts and I have issues. So, Secret Invasion. Again, like I said, I have thoughts on this. Real quick, I guess I will say, like, I'm not on the hate train for this because I think I overall, well, I don't think I know I overall enjoyed this, but
Yeah.
I have serious issues with this as well. Like, the usual suspects are calling this the worst thing ever made because they always call everything made by Marvel the worst thing ever made, and those guys you can ignore. But there are some very valid criticisms about this because if you notice kind of the hate train on this, there's some people on it that wouldn't normally be part of that group, and they're not part of that group. But there's issues with this one.
Yeah.
Raylo's bringing up, yeah, I love I like Secret Invasion, but only loved a couple of episodes. Yeah, there are episodes here I think are fine. I think the overall story, obviously, it's a lot like the comic book storyline with a lot less characters, but like, Skrulls have conquered are kind of secretly conquered the Earth. They're in key positions of power because they're shapeshifters. They've hidden themselves away, and there's a strong espionage concept to this, and Samuel L. Jackson as the lead is amazing. I'm always down for more Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury, period. But I guess, Bobby, what are your broad thoughts before I get into my complaints?
This is good. I kind of, like you said, it was okay for exactly as filler in between the bigger projects.
It did feel like that too, unfortunately.
It does also feel like I heard one that I felt was a very fair criticism that was, maybe this is a lot of recycled or unused ideas that wasn't used in past films. That's a fair criticism. I kind of got the vibe with a couple of episodes. A couple of episodes I felt that way about.
Yeah.
I mean, I also kind of feel like they're kind of toying with the timeline a little bit because this kind of brings up the question, like, I guess we'll just kind of talk about all of them as like a whole, the three stretch. Martin Freeman's character. Now, like, how long had he been a copier in that bed? Was he in there for the events of Black Panther?
No idea.
Too? Yeah, like same with Rhodey.
No
how
idea.
long was
it's not clear how? Yeah, Rhodey is an interesting
because that
as well.
That could have been since Civil War. Like,
according to he was still injured, so it had to be sometime after Civil War, and that's the closest we can get to a timeline on that. As far as Ross, I have no idea at all on that one. It seemed like in Wakanda Forever he seemed fine, but who knows? It brings up lots of questions, and it's interesting, and I kind of wish, honestly, okay, one of my big complaints here, all these episodes I feel like are a little bit too short, and I think that'd be fine, except I feel like they could have done more character stuff. Because I actually think the character stuff that they do is fairly solid.
Yeah, I kind of like seeing like the eviler side of Rhodey. I liked that part.
Yeah,
evil Don Cheadle is great.
No, I mean, I want to stress one thing. Like, if you just want to watch this series to see Samuel L. Jackson and Don Cheadle, you won't be disappointed because they are fantastic in this. I think they do a great job, and they're worth watching it by itself. So it's hard for me to even like completely pan this because just the two of them fucking nailing it. I love the relationship between Nick Fury and his wife. I think that's fascinating, and I think they do a great job with it. Like I said, there's stuff to really appreciate here. I wish they'd done more character work, and I think most of my issues, kind of come down to the last episode because there's serious stuff I have to ask. So this whole thing was like an espionage thing.
Yeah.
And I kind
absolutely.
of really dislike that it became essentially a superpowered battle between the two most powerful beings that we've ever seen in the MCU. It was just kind of like, wait, I feel like this should be like more of a spycraft thing.
Okay.
But no, it's like I love that they introduced Super Skrulls here, and I think they're creative with who they choose to be like the DNA they choose to clone to make the Super Skrulls, to make them like the Super Skrulls, and I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we get like these incredible, massive Skrulls that can like copy the power of anybody who bled at the endgame battle, which seems absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Emelia Clarke. Go ahead.
Didn't actually. I actually that I gotta say that part I felt it wasn't necessarily out of character for Fury. Just I was kind of more like, I think this is the one move that he has done that I have disagreed with that character as. Every other thing that Fury has ever said or done or action, I've agreed with completely. And like I get with, and that's why he was one of my favorites. That one I was like, oh, I'm a little disappointed in you, Fury. Like,
so
I wasn't.
Which move is this?
Collecting all the blood and keeping the samples for whatever reason.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
I that didn't bode well with me. I don't know why. I really did not like that move. I was like, it'd
be one thing if
the fuck, Fury.
They could have actually explained it a lot better and just said like the government did it and like he had to sneak and grab.
No, it was him. It was like him and Sword.
Yeah, no,
whatever.
No,
yeah,
I'm explaining how I think that they could have handled it better instead of just saying he did it, which is just like holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I just.
Oh, so Brightburn does have a good point. I think the president declaring war on the Skrulls and all aliens that weren't born on Earth is setting the stage for the MCU to hate mutants like the X-Men. Yeah, I actually think that's an interesting place to take it. Yeah, I don't. I kind of like that they did that. I kind of like that Nick Fury tells off the president for doing that shit.
Also, that actor,
like I said, like I don't dislike it. I have criticisms. Yeah. Now we have Emelia Clarke's Gaia, who is the most powerful superhero in the entire MCU, no question. Like, it used to be Captain Marvel, but literally Gaia has all the powers of Captain Marvel now, plus others. So, most powerful character in all the MCU. And to me, it's almost like, okay, so how do you handle this character? Because there's 3 ways to handle a character like that. Number 1, you let them essentially become so superpowered that they become a villain and they have to be stopped. This is what they did with Scarlet Witch just recently, so I don't see them doing that. Number 2, essentially have them like be a good guy, do a lot of good, and then have a big bad kill him, which would probably be Kang. Number 3, you just behind the scenes depower them. you put some heavy limits on those powers.
Yeah, you nerf them.
Yeah. But like if it's number 3, they did not think this out well. And it really comes off like they kind of didn't like, and maybe this is the writer's strike has been going on that long, so I feel like it's unlikely a victim of the writer's strike at all. But it feels, I don't know, it kind of bugs me because I think it's a good series, but I think there's a great series here. There's a really great series, and this, it's not quite there. But it's got elements I really like. Pretty much, for me, Samuel L. Jackson, Don Cheadle are great. And then the relationship between Nick Fury and his wife, phenomenal. Talos was great in this series. Spoiler, guys, spoiler. I was sad to see him die. Not wildly unexpected. That was a bummer. But
no.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, for me overall, there's more positive than negatives to this thing. But I was kind of hoping for more, especially with Samuel L. Jackson leading like essentially what could be a spy thriller. I thought it could be fantastic, and it was good enough. Which, yeah, I guess that sums up my thoughts. Where are you at with it, Bobby?
Well, like I same as I have been with a lot of these series. I mean, there's some that are just kind of okay. There's some that I mean, I don't really hate any of them by any means.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call any of them bad, but there's
or awful.
Yeah,
there's a couple that I could have just done without. And there's a lot of the episodes in all these that I feel are a little weak in comparison, but I'm more excited to see where they're going to push the story and what they've promised. But again, now with the writer's strike and all, we don't know how long that will be. But it was okay. There were some episodes that I felt were just kind of filler. But the feel of a lot of the espionage stuff I really enjoyed, because Winter Soldier and Falcon and the Winter Soldier were a lot like that. And that has been so far my favorite of all the directed Disney releases. So I enjoyed that. So I enjoyed the aspects of this that were matching in tone. Yeah.
Yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, I have my issues with that, but like, I definitely feel like it's much closer to the vibe of something like Winter Soldier than this. And I was hoping, I was hoping this would be like almost like I was hoping this would be like a more gritty version of almost like the spy espionage elements of Winter Soldier. I kind of actually wanted this to not even involve like superpowers. Just be Nick Fury dealing with a Skrull invasion. And it kind of was, but I felt like they let the story just go too wild with the Super Skrull stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I was excited to see Super Skrulls introduced.
I wish that they didn't have that. Well, we needed to have a final solution to the series, but because I know like all of these are just like a lot of these are just one-offs, unless the ones that have already been promised to season 2.
Well, but Secret Invasion, I would definitely expect to be a one-off because that was just a event comic book.
Yeah,
that was a one-off comic.
Yeah,
so
Like the only one that I would actually expect when they out of the initial launch, and the only one I expected to have the season 2 announced was just What If, because those could just you could keep shelling those out. I mean,
well, we do have Loki season 2, and then
we'll see about that.
Yeah,
we'll
Loki.
See.
I thought Loki season 1 was great, and then Moon Knight. I thought Moon Knight season 1 was great as well.
Moon Knight was great too. That one was very underappreciated in my opinion too.
Yeah.
Yes, no,
absolutely.
There's Loki, I mean, I think with Jonathan Majors, if they want him to continue as the bad in that, or it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. That's all. I feel that they might have written themselves in a corner with all that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we keep on dealing with variants of Kang. And one of the good news is Spider-Man No Way Home was made. Spider-Man No Way Home has established that different variants can look different. So it wouldn't surprise me if we have a couple more Jonathan Majors appearances already recorded and then he changes actors.
Yeah. I mean, no one noticed Rhodey's recast or really cares about it now, but that's probably just because, Terrence Howard, Don Cheadle.
As much as I like Terrence Howard and think he's a great actor, Don Cheadle's better. Just one of those
things. I think he's awful.
Really?
I think he's awful. I really just think he's terrible.
Are you talking about Terrence Howard?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I think he's a terrible actor.
I thought you were talking about Don Cheadle for a moment. I was like, what?
No, Cheadle's great. I think I don't know. There's just something about him that is he kind of annoys me in almost every role he's in. Like it's almost like I just know you're the bad guy and I just don't care for you, and I just No,
He does have a swarmy aspect to his
he
performance.
does have a smarmy aspect about his performances
Yeah.
in dialogue and
Smarmy, that's
delivery.
Yeah. I will say, while we disagree on Terrence Howard, we do agree we don't really care because Don Cheadle was a huge improvement.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna get
let's see.
paid more than Downey, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, that was wild.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.